How did this nation become the second richest nation in the world from being just a small, isolated valley for peasant farmers? One of the strangest trade agreements in history was proposed in 1867. A country much smaller than Alaska's offered and nearly bought the remote eastern territory of Alaska from the Russian Empire just before it was sold to the United States. Liechtenstein, a tiny Alpine principality, is of course this nation, who at the time had a reputation for being the last surviving relic of the revered Roman Empire and for being lonely, uninteresting, and economically backward. In fact, the country's ruling family was forced to sell some of its priceless artwork just 60 years ago in order to keep the country running, including the Mona Lisa's twin by Leonardo da Vinci. Today, however, the nation competes with Monaco for the title of second richest country in the world with a staggering GDP per capita of $170,000. Its level of wealth is unmatched by many other countries, and it also has one of the greatest standards of living in the entire globe and is the only one without any external debt. However, it is not precisely clear at first glance how that was accomplished. Its environment is mountainous, lack of ocean access is bad for trade and development, its extremely low population makes it difficult for its manufacturers to compete on a global scale, and it has essentially no natural resources that are worth exploiting. Did you know that the Liechtenstein-based business ThyssenKrupp Presta, with locations in Terre Haute Inn and Danville, IL, manufactures the steering components used in Chrysler, Ford, and Tesla vehicles built in the U.S.? Today, let us detail how this tiny Alpine principality. Before we proceed, take a moment to like, subscribe, and activate the bell notification feature. By the second part of the 19th century, the turbulent events of European history had allowed the 61-square-mile Principality of Liechtenstein to achieve regular independence. Despite the fall of the Holy Roman Empire, the collapse of the Rhine Confederation, and the creation of a single German state, Liechtenstein maintained contact. However, the explanation for this is rather uninspiring. It was simply regarded as being too poor, too small, and too obscure to warrant attention from neighboring powers. Though independent, Liechtenstein was just too small and backward to subsist on its own. As a result, it ultimately joined the Austro-Hungarian Empire, strongly relying on the larger economy for food and other necessities. This had the extra benefit of luring Swiss textile companies to locate in the country, marking the beginning of industrialization. However, because of the hard environment and high cost of moving people and products, growth was generally relatively slow. However, as soon as World War I broke out, Liechtenstein was not only cut off from food and supplies from a faltering Austro-Hungarian Empire, but also, despite its neutrality, was grouped in with the Central Powers and was subject to the severe economic embargo imposed by the Allied powers. Food stopped arriving, seasonal employment dried up, and eventually the Austro-Hungarian Empire's dissolution meant that the monetary system it had used had disappeared. The Swiss textile industry also left, and the country was left with massive debts from paying for the importation of food from Switzerland during the war. The changes left the people of Liechtenstein, who were already poor, scrambling to make ends meet. The principality, unable to support itself economically, was allowed to join Switzerland in a customs union. It anchored its economy on the remarkably stable Swiss franc and once more had access to a more developed, broader economy where its citizens could work, trade, and/or buy. Additionally, it made it possible for the country to contract out a variety of pricey services and administrative tasks. The poor situation had stabilized, and the country's debts had been paid off thanks to Prince Johann II, who was then the leader, selling numerous priceless family heirlooms. However, the same challenges to development remained for Liechtenstein. It lacked the resources, financial, technical, and population, to industrialize in the same way as its neighbors. What it needed was foreign investment, but the country was exceedingly unattractive to foreign investors due to its geography, position, and lack of genuine incentives. This led to some radical new ideas and conclusions regarding policy. The purpose was to provide investors with the widest array of tools to channel money into tax-favorable arrangements, which included domiciliary companies, which are companies that are registered in Liechtenstein but do no actual business in the country, along with tax cuts to negligible levels and two other laws that allowed unprecedented freedom and protections for establishing and managing companies. This indicates that foreign nationals could register their businesses in the principality, pay minimal taxes, and so avoid paying significantly higher taxes in their home nations. As a result, Liechtenstein generated higher tax revenue for nearly no expense. In order to support the push for industrialization, the number of registered enterprises increased, and Johann EU provided further personal funding for the nation's first hydroelectric power plant. Through membership in multilateral organizations like the European Free Trade Associations, EFTA, the European Economic Area, EEA, and the World Trade Organization, WTO, Liechtenstein's economic integration on a regional and international scale has significantly improved the country's economy today. Although manufacturing accounts for the majority of Liechtenstein's GDP, the country is mostly renowned as a financial hub. Manufacturing and construction together make up industry, which represents 41.6% of the GDP. The biggest divisions of Liechtenstein's heavily export-focused industrial sector are machine and tool engineering, plant construction, precision instruments, the dental and food industries, as well as the production of high-end goods. The supply chains for items in several U.S. industries, such as construction, automotive, dentistry, agricultural, audiovisual, and coding, are heavily reliant on Liechtenstein enterprises. Quick reminder: Liechtenstein-based business ThyssenKrupp Presto, with locations in Terre Haute Inn and Danville, IL, manufactures the steering components used in Chrysler, Ford, and Tesla vehicles built in the U.S. Hilti, a pioneer in the manufacture of precision tools, was established in 1941 in Schön, Liechtenstein. The corporation, which has its North American headquarters in Dallas, Texas, sells and rents its products both publicly and privately around the United States. One of the top manufacturers of dental products on the planet, Ivoclar Vivint has operations in Amherst, New York, and many of its products are utilized by dentists in America. Nutric, a company based in Liechtenstein, produces many of the microphones and audio equipment used by the U.S. Congress, renowned performers, and businesses. General services make up 37.3% of the Liechtenstein economy, which is followed by manufacturing. Tourism, real estate, information technology, cleaning and repair services, and retail are just a few examples of this sector. Services for brick-and-mortar businesses, real estate, and information technology firms are the main private employers. Along with services offered by the municipalities and the National Administration of Liechtenstein, this industry also comprises jobs largely in public administration, healthcare, social services, and education. Financial services, which include insurance, legal, and accounting operations, play a significant part in Liechtenstein's national economy, even though they are not the country's largest economic sector, contributing 21.1% of its GDP. Particular areas of expertise for Liechtenstein's financial hub include private asset management, international asset structuring, investment funds, and insurance solutions. Did you know that the bulk of the jobs in Liechtenstein's manufacturing sector employ more people than the country's estimated 39,000 total population? Within Liechtenstein's borders, the economy provides 41,352 employment, according to a 2021 report, with more than half of the workforce traveling daily from Switzerland, Austria, and Germany. Over 40,000 employment are available in Liechtenstein worldwide, with about 5,000 of them being located in the United States. Over 70,000 individuals are employed worldwide and domestically by Liechtenstein firms. While paying minimal income taxes, its inhabitants enjoy access to some of the top healthcare and educational systems in the world. In the end, Liechtenstein was able to quickly transform from a remote, small, starving country into one of unparalleled affluence by taking use of its distinctive traits and global economic factors. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.